Yo, yo, yo. What up? What up? What up? What up? What's up, y'all? Nobody is in here. Well, it don't matter. No, people are coming through. What's up, y'all? Man, this week has been a hella week. Golden Okie Aries. What's up? Brandon, what's good? What up? What up? What up? Look, y'all. So the Keffe D trial, Tony Piper, what's up? The Keffe D trial. Let me see. Where do I have that option? I can just put y'all. Yeah, y'all can. I'll let y'all. Boom. There you are. Ray girl. Hey, what's up? And shout out to everybody. Not gonna be over here too long. I said let me get in here because I promised that I was gonna get up in here and just kind of lay it out as far as all the drama that has been going on with this Keffe D trial. So they've had they got 16 jurors. I remember when I was in the court, they were talking about the 4 alternates, 12 jurors, and yeah, they're going to start Monday. But there was some soap opera drama with the jury selection. I mean, first off, when I was there were 75 prospective jurors, and then the next day they had another 75. So they just had a whole bunch of people coming through. The judge told the pool to expect the trial lasting approximately 5 weeks. Remember that, 5 weeks. But I think it's going to be maybe it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that long, but we'll see. Maybe 4 weeks. Candidates they were questioned individually about what they already knew about Tupac's unalivement, whether they listened to Tupac's music, exposure to documentaries, podcasts, social media, or other coverage. They were asked if they could be or remain impartial. They were also asked whether they could view graphic crime scene and autopsy photos. A significant procedure development occurred when Keefe D waived his rights to have the jury recommend his sentences if convicted. We were there. I remember hearing that. So that eliminated a separate penalty phase and left any uh, sentences to the judge. The lawyers were basically not looking for people unfamiliar with the case. I mean, that's going to be hella difficult after 30 years. They were testing jurors, seeing if jurors could separate what they heard from what actually will be presented in court. So the second day, this is where a lot of crazy stuff came. There was a young woman. She was excused after stating that she understood English, approximately 80% of English. A man was excused because serving 5 weeks would create financial hardship. They had another candidate. He was excused after a private discussion amongst attorneys and the judge, even though the candidate said they could view the evidence, including the autopsy photos. A 21-year-old candidate said he had not watched any movies or programs about Tupac's unalivement. Prosecutors questioned how he knew documentaries existed if he'd never watched any. The Fox News lady who was in there, she said she observed that he answered rapidly and sometimes he spoke before questions were even completed. Like he was antsy. I guess he was, One candidate said the son of the bailiff and he was the son of the bailiff and a brother of the public defender. That's crazy. Uh, Now, prosecutors, they reportedly described him as not the average juror because of his legal family background. And I guess he had objectivity to, or whatever. But he advanced. Yeah. A young woman said stress sometimes causes her to process information slowly, but she was also advanced. By the end of day two, they had 15 candidates. They were advanced, and another group of 50 were expected the next day. So Wednesdays, there was only 4 days, y'all. This is where the drama got real crazy. The prosecution informed the judge that a candidate who had already advanced may have provided incorrect information, or he omitted information about his criminal history. I think the judge she independently reviewed the person's court records, and instead of immediately dismissing him, she ordered him to return for an additional questioning the next day on Thursday. So keep that in mind. Now, the reporter said that he might have lied, but it was just really about an omission or discrepancy, I guess. So he's going to come back the next day, the final day, because today is Friday and they already selected everyone. So it was already said by hook or by crook, they were going to get the trial started on Monday. And when I was in the overflow room, they were saying if it ended early, the jury selection ended early, it'll still start on Monday. So here we are, still Wednesday. They had a long-time Vegas resident who reportedly knew about the case only through general news and coverage. He advanced. A woman with a high school education was excused after expressing uncertainty about how would she react to graphic homicide photographs. So by the end of Wednesday, 36 prospective jurors advanced, and the prosecution and defense would each have 10 preemptory challenges during the final selection. So the fourth day, yesterday, that juror that came back was questioned and examined about his criminal history discrepancy. So after hearing the explanation, the judge said she had no concern that he had been trying to deceive the court. So the judge allowed him to remain in the pool. And it's reported that the final jury includes the person whose history had been questioned. So that guy who they told him to come back, he's in there. He's in the pool. So he didn't lie. They basically said he omitted some information about his criminal history. That's very interesting, though. They still allowed him in there, but let's see how that plays out. So the other 36 candidates, they entered the jury box for formal questioning and party strike. So the final panel was 16 people, 12 jurors, 4 alternatives, 10 women, and 6 men. They described them as demographically mixed. All 16 will attend the evidence, and the 4 alternatives will be determined before deliberations. So, yeah, they got everything. They got everybody picked before Friday, before the jury starts on Monday. So, boom, there it is. The potential jurors were questioned about like podcasts, documentaries, autopsy photos, financial hardships, legal family connections. And they said one person nearly became the first major controversy. And that's the guy that they told to come back on Thursday for his criminal history discrepancy. So the question I got, y'all, can anyone realistically enter this case without prior exposure? What's up, Amber? What's up, Josh? Sheila Gray. Thank you. Thank you for the jewels. What's up, baby girl Tay? And Honeybee gave me an unk alert. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, yeah, do y'all think anybody can be picked, or let's just say the 16 jurors, there's really 12 jurors, 4 alternatives or alternates. Can any of those really have gone 30 years without hearing anything on the Tupac case? Josh, you said you'll be excused for having a hard time guilting black people. Man, I got called for jury duty once, and it was about to be a case of this Latino guy who was accused of essaying a child. And I ain't gonna lie, I was already like biased. I said guilty. I said he looked like I said, let me just beat his ass. Like I was on it like that. But then I think something happened and they ended up dismissing us all because I think he had to come back or something. It was an issue with one of the witnesses. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, I was hella like biased. No cap. I was just like, I'm kind of biased. He did it. But I mean, to be real, if I'd have sat on a jury, I would have looked at everything and really saw what it was, and I would have, voted accordingly. But a lot of people will go into this case, the jury who has been selected, they're gonna go in and they're already gonna have some kind of bias. Like they're probably already gonna be biased, pro Pac, anti-gang, anti-Keffe D. Now, Reggie Wright, remember that audio that we played with him talking to his so-called quote-unquote side chick? That was him allegedly admitting that he wrote the book, supposedly. But the guy, he was trying to avoid him, and he just said, all right, yeah, here, take this, and just to leave me alone, because dude kept bugging him or something, I guess. If they catch Keefe D and one too many lies, man. And like I said, I really think they're going to tie in the Biggie situation with this too. They got to. They're going to have to tie in the Biggie situation because the Pac and Biggie unalivements are connected in some way. And the reason why I even say they're connected is because I'm saying Southside Compton Crips. The Southside Compton Crips are the connection. Zip is the connection. I heard it was a rumor that they're going to subpoena Foxy Brown because she was dating Zip and she heard some stuff. I thought she was dating Corrupt at the time. Foxy was getting around. She got around like Tupac. Yeah, yeah, man. Like it's definitely interesting. We're gonna see how this play out. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all a little bit of follow up, and I basically was getting the get down from the Fox reporter. She's the local Fox reporter for the case, and yeah, she had one where it says a middle-aged woman being questioned now. Her ex hubby used to be a cop, a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department cop. She asks, well, the state asking her more questions. How did it make you feel about law enforcement at the time? She says divorce was messy. No one listens until he got fired. Interesting. A young woman is being questioned after she first takes a moment to understand information coming. This is a girl that they were talking about. State finished questioning her. Defense is questioning her with a bunch of sticky notes in his folder. She says she can get stressed out sometimes and jumble up stuff. So that's not a good juror that you would want on your case. You say what? Is she the one that stayed? Okay. Another juror walked in. He said his dad used to be a court bailiff. This is the guy they were talking about. His sister is a public defender. He said he grew up understanding the law and being objective. Prosecutors tell him he isn't the average juror. Yeah. A middle-aged woman is now being questioned. She says she served as a juror in 2005 in a second-degree murking case. She said she heard snippets of the case on the news. She says she can put that to the side and listen to the witnesses. So yeah, day one was the 10th. Yeah, that was August 10th. Day two was the 11th, and then day three is the 12th. Yesterday was day 4. So that's it. We will see what's going on. Hey, Janine Taylor, you're watching that work. Appreciate you. You say you sorry for Jag. You heard that rumor too with Corrupt and Fox. Yeah. Everybody, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of. I'll say it like this: these ninjas be talking just like these females, man. And you know how that go. But yeah, Keffe D trial. So I was about to say tomorrow, Monday, actually. Monday, it all starts. I got some stuff I got to do Monday. Yeah, I'm ready to see what's going to happen. I think Reggie Wright was talking all kind of madness, and we're going to see how this plays out. Yeah, let's see how it plays out. I honestly think they're gonna hang him. I honestly think they're gonna hang his arse. I hate to say it. That it's just, Keefe D is about as smart as a bowling ball, about as sharp as a bowling ball. I'm sorry, about as smart as a. He's. I don't know. And it's sad, but he say been lying. Yeah, it's sad, but guess what, Keefe D, you ran your mouth too much, man. Like the thing is Keefe D may have been someone big within Southside, but I just know they say real G's move in silence like lasagna. Real talk. Most cats that I know, they're not even slipping up and saying they did anything. Like, yeah, man. Like I got family. I'll just say I got family, and it's on them. But they know how to talk, and I peep, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. So that's why Suge ain't saying nothing. But I think it's because Suge is a little bit more in depth, more in it than he wants people to think. If it's true that Pac was trying to get into the back seat and he held dude up, that's fucked up. That is fuck. Hold on, let me see something real quick because I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Yeah, he did that with the dude that when No Boy came up and popped him in. Yeah. That's when, man. Autopsy. How do you spell autopsy? Oh, auto. Okay, auto. Yeah, where I'm trying to see where he got hit. No. I ain't worried about Suge. It's Pac. Multiple. Yeah. But they say he caused the death was cardiopulmonary arrest and respiratory failure caused by severe stress, trauma, and internal bleeding. So he was hit with 4 bullets, right chest, um, causing a massive hemothorax and severe damage to his right lung, which required surgical removal of the lung. Yep, we heard about that. Right pelvis, right hip, pelvis area, right thigh. Okay, so if you're sitting in the right, if you're sitting on the passenger side of the car and you are trying to get up, so yeah, your right would get hit like that. They said his right hand, his finger, it resulted in a fracture. Yeah, that would make sense. He had no illegal drugs in the system, though he was heavily sedated during hospital treatments. Bullet recovery surgeons removed one bullet during prior emergency procedures, and the final remaining bullet was recovered from his body during autopsy by the Clark County coroner's office to be saved as criminal evidence. I'm sure that bullet will be presented in this case. Right chest, everything is to the right, so he probably got hit in the chest, and then he got up trying to get over, got hit in the pelvis, got hit in the thigh, and somehow hit in the finger. So he only got hit 4 times. Rest in peace, Pac, man. That's sad, man. Yeah, well, yeah. What's up, Mandita? Barbara Martinez, what's up? What up? What's going on? Not gonna be on here long. Jag will be doing her weekend wrap up because it's a wrap. I think we're gonna just pretty much just talk about these PDFs. It's a lot of PDF activity popping off, and these and people making excuses for them. But that's the name of the game. Look, when I realized that this is people, there's a tacit. Let me say it like this. There's a okay. So me coming up in LA, and I was going to do a live about this. Just if you come up as a creative, you obviously got to find your niche. You got to get better. You got to be you got to do it every day, whatever it is you're doing. I'm hip hop. I'm from the streets. I started out trying to write. I sucked at graffiti. I sucked. At least I'll admit that I was whack. And then my brother was writing rhymes for me when I was 12, and I was saying them, and I didn't have, I was about 16, 15, 16. I started writing my own. I still was whack as shit. I probably didn't really figure it out until early 20s. But some cats were already tight, like my boy Prophet. Like I say, I got cats who are already tight with their shit. But anyway, if you're a creative individual, you find your ways. Like, oh, you find your niche. Oh, okay, I'm good at this. Obviously, I'm in IT, so I wanted to do music, but as a byproduct, I got into IT, and I made it. I figured out, okay, editing, production, Pro Tools, all that good stuff. And to this day, some of those programs I still work with, run, etc. But you learn. Like, I had an opportunity to do all types of jobs. I did one edit where the guy was freaking. It was a guy and a girl, freaking naked. It wasn't corn, but it was. But I learned back, like, you don't do anything in that industry. And actually, when I first started out, the corn industry in San Fernando Valley was on its way out because the streaming, the digital stuff was popping. So that was like 2010. I was been done with school, but I started like getting into the creative side. And I remember my desk that I had purchased. I got it from this company from the San Fernando Valley, and I'm like, yo, because they had a gang of stuff. And they were like, yeah, we were liquidating all this, man. They were like a corn company. The corn was popping back day. And they were making so much money. But I remember that specifically. 2010, it was like the DVDs wasn't doing, VHS wasn't doing, everything was going to online. But we learned, don't do any type of projects that's a bad look. That's a bad look. If you're trying to, like, really come up and be an editor or sound guy, don't do that. That's just what it was. Don't do that. Now, low key, though, in the industry, there's people that know the game. They will edit and film these corn stuff, the child stuff, you know what I'm saying? But because it's like a I wouldn't say a calling card, but it's what I wouldn't even say a dog whistle, but it's something similar to where it's like you're letting them know, hey, I'm cool with, if y'all gonna do it. Hey, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. What's up, Alinas? So that's what goes on in this industry, man, where you do have morals. People have morals. No. I'm saying overall, I'm just saying people in general. You grow up, you have a set of morals where you're like, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that, But the people that are amoral, they make it in the industry. I'm telling you, the people that are amoral make it in the industry. They confront, like, they got the religiosity background and this and that, but they are, a lot of times they've done something. They've done something illegal or immoral to make it to, because if you're a goody two shoe, if you do everything by the book, you do not get rewarded. You do not get rewarded. They promote and help out each other, bad guys. So the reason why I got on that is I was just basically saying, like, this industry is full of treacherous scumbags. I don't think Suge is no angel. I definitely don't think Suge is no angel. I think, and this is just me, I think Cap's connected to CIA, and Death Row was, like, y'all, you look at who funded Death Row, look at the attorney who was running Death Row, Kenner. These were not good people. This guy was not good. And where they got their money from? Come on. Anyway, yeah, just I'm just going on a tangent in regards to that, just as far as how corrupt this game is. And I think Pac knew that. That's why Pac ended up getting popped, 5 times in New York? Survived. Immediately, boom, put him in jail because of the grape, right? Crazy. Lined him up to go so that he would have no choice but to get with Suge. And yeah. They did Pac dirty, man. They did Pac dirty. May he rest in peace. He's a legend. He'll always be remembered. Like, the dude was a hard worker. And I'm thinking, yeah, like we were just talking about that. Like, anybody who's 25 right now, they ain't even did a quarter of what Pac did. And Pac was 25 when he passed. Oh, Tiger getting, Tiger and his AIA. They kicked him in his ass. But anyway, real writers, get on your craft. Don't cheat. We had thesauruses, of course. We would have dictionaries because that's just something. We were students of Malcolm. Malcolm would always say, know the definition of words that you're speaking, and plus you got to broaden your vocabulary. But I was also just saying, you got to get 1,000. They say you got to get 10,000 hours in on something to be an expert or to be good at it. Some people just naturally got it. Like, Jag, she could sing. There's only so many people that I could be like, oh yeah, that person could flow, and I'm giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Some people just naturally talented, gifted, and they got it. But You know, if you are a creative, just stay on it, get on it, and stay on it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, we'll be back. Wait, hold on. When you say Tupac continues to be relevant to this day, you can't destroy energy; it can only be transformed. Yep, exactly. His energy now permeates through his legacy. That's a good one. Yeah, and rest in peace to his mother. Rest in peace to Matulu as well. Um, See, that's what I might do, but I'm gonna see. I gotta pull it off. Get with Mopreme. I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just thinking in advance of what I need to do for this whole little situation. Um, but yeah. Anyway, we'll be back. Appreciate everybody that came through. The jury has been selected. There was a whole lot of drama. I hope there's not a whole lot of drama within this case. I think everything could work out, but let's see. That's the reason why I want to go. I want to see which YouTubers are going to be in the building because it is well documented that a lot of YouTubers get online. I mean, they go into courtrooms to find out who these jurors are, and they try their little ops or whatever it is, you know. So I'm sure though that everybody's being watched. Trust me. Trust me, everybody's being watched. You ain't finna just get off and yeah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, Captain. Was Cash Doll trending? Why is she trending? San Diego woman sues Dollar Tree over Gooner assault trend. What is going on? People getting arrested. I'm just now looking at the news. Reality star Betty Idol arrested in 198,000 real estate fraud scheme. Interesting. I said, why is Cash Doll trending? Your own man say you're stupid. You be like, so I love my baby mama. I never let her go. Oh, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Cartel Crew. She faced 4 felony charges, including money laundering and grand theft, after 11-month Volusia County investigation. Victim sent funds to fake accounts for Orange City property with bank records, surveillance, and facial recognition, linking 179K to Jackson, who allegedly spent it on a shopping spree. You big dummy. Y'all know y'all can't, you can't just spin that shit. Look at her. Look. She getting out of jail. I mean, she getting out of that booty wagon. She look like a Black China, a old Black China. She look like Black Mongolia. Oh man, this is interesting. Okay. Yeah, broke bitch is a bankhead over here scamming. Yeah, man. And that's the thing too. A lot of these people in this industry, they be laundering and washing money like crazy. Thank you, Alina's. I'll be out with my gang. That's what's up. Brittany said, hey, Jet and Jack finally caught alive after a busy week. Yeah, it's Jag's gonna go live in about an hour, so definitely, come through. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, Lenas, I'll be out with my gang. Tupac would have been president for sure. Like, that's for sure. Tupac would have been president. They got rid of Pac, so Obama's punk ass could be that punk mother. Anyway, we'll be back. I appreciate y'all for coming through. And let me see. Nobody on set in the West LA. I gotta go wake that channel up. Maybe I gotta go do some stuff. Go chase some homeless people again. Remember that was, oh man, I got chased by a homeless woman. No, that wasn't set in the West LA. That was just regular set in the West. And Heather Locklear, yeah. Heather, yeah, she was like, I don't even want to say it. Ugh. Lord. All right, we'll be back, y'all.